Allison Becker is returning, but two massive injury blows to Liverpool Football Club as they embark on a very important period. Semenyo talks are going positively well, according to reports. Also, FSG are expected to spend big yet again in January and next summer as we continue a rebuild. People, it's Friday. It's the morning show. Busy day ahead. Sit back, relax. Let's get into this.
Hi, this is Jordan Henderson, and you're watching Team Kop-ish.
Being free back again, ripping LFC till the end, so go on tell a friend. If they rockin' red, they're a 10 champions, we the best, we come again. Kop-ish clean up in every region, elevation in every season. Catch up in all the fast match up in real rap and drifty go on tell them this is that, this is that. This is Kopish, this is Kopish. Reppin' Liverpool till the end, champions, we the best, come again. This is that, this is Kopish, this is Kopish. The main free back up in your screen, real ones know this the place to be. This is Kopish.
Good morning, lovely people. I hope you're well. Welcome back to the show. First and foremost, let's speak about our sponsors, okjersey.com. Guys, look, it's coming up to Christmas now. It's coming up to Christmas. Do you want to buy a jersey for yourself, for your other half, your children, or just a friend or a family member? Make sure you head over to okjersey.com. You can get a further 8% off using the promo code Kopish, Kopish. And guess what? The shirts are only around £15. That's right, £15 for a new jersey, whether it be a home kit, an away kit, a third kit, international kit, this season's kits, last season's kits, years ago kits, retro kits. Head over to okjersey.com and make sure you use the promo code Kopish. Right, people. Had a whole show planned out, and then Slot's press conference has thrown some spanners in the work. So, where do we begin? Allison Becker's back. That's confirmed. So he's been back in training this week, and he's back. So before we speak about the two players who are injured, Conor Bradley and Florian Wirtz, I want to ask you guys in the chat, should Allison Becker go straight back into the team, or should Mamardashvili keep his spot and give Alisson a couple more days to recover? Or not necessarily recover, but just get back up to the swing of things. Me personally, I'd be more than fine having Mamardashvili in goal. I don't think Mamardashvili's hurt his cause at all. I actually think he's been very good in goal. But I'd also be fine with Alisson coming back in as well. I do think Mamardashvili has done very well in the time he's been out, though. But at the same time, not going to be mad if it's Ali. He is our number one choice goalkeeper. I'm probably on the side of connoisseur here, saying no, let Ali rest a little bit longer, get more training time. I would probably do the same thing. However, I think a couple of you, I think Rex Ruin says he's been training for the last 2 weeks now. So maybe he's ready. But me personally, I'd give Mamardashvili another game or so, just so he can sort of slowly ease his way back into the team without being rushed back. Right, now we've got the good news out of the way. Arne Slot has spoken at his press conference today, and I'll read the quotes. Where are we? Here we are. Right, so Arne Slot says, regarding Florian Wirtz and Conor Bradley, both muscle issues, I don't expect Conor to be part of the next 22 days. Florian won't be that long. He's also gone on to speak about Joe Gomez, where he says Joe Gomez has played, I think if I'm correct, 2 times 90 minutes throughout the whole of 2025. So if you want to keep him available longer, it is maybe a bit of a risk to play him 7 times in 22 days. Okay. A few things to break down there. Firstly, no idea how Bradley got injured. But what I will say, for me personally, him and Frimpong being out at the same time is not good. But My biggest worry now is Szoboszlai going to be utilised at right back? And the reason why I say that is because I think we have two players who can be utilised there. And that is Joe Gomez and Calvin Ramsey. We have two players who can be used there. For me, there's no reason to put Szoboszlai at right back. Now, when he speaks of Joe Gomez only playing 90 minutes twice in the whole of 2025, I mean, whose fault is that? That's not Gomez's fault from what I know. I know Gomez got injured against, I want to say West Ham at the back end of 2024. I think it might have been our last game in 2024. But Joe Gomez has pretty much been available, if I'm not mistaken. So why has he only played like twice 90 minutes in the whole of 2025? When we've had other chances and opportunities where he can play full games. We'd wrapped up the league with what, 3 or 4, I think, was it 4 games left? Gomez could have played 90 minutes there. So I don't know why this is a big thing. I get he can't play 7 times in 22 days. That I agree with. But how's Joe Gomez meant to get any rhythm whatsoever if he doesn't play at all? Like, isn't that a bit weird? Does that make any sense? Because to me, it doesn't. Shout out to Skills says, how you saw Gomez against Palace. No, I hear it. I'm not even sitting there saying Gomez is the greatest, but at the same time, Skills, bro, how is he meant to get any rhythm? How is he meant to feel and get any confidence going if he's not going to be playing? Shout out to Promo, big up yourself, Promo. Says Gomez is going to be sold in Jan Cow. It's obvious. I mean, is that the wisest thing to do? Before anyone goes crazy, that's not my smoke alarm. That is my heating. I'm in the conservatory and it's quite cold. But yeah, would that be the smartest thing to do to sell Joe Gomez in January when we already got Leone out for the season? Unless we're bringing in 2 centre-backs in January to replace Joe Gomez and the one that we never got, then how on earth are we selling Joe Gomez in January? What sense does that make? And again, people could say, oh, if we just buy Gahey and sell Gomez. No, because then that puts us in the same situation now. Gahey can pick up an injury. Konate can pick up an injury. Hell, Virgil could pick up an injury. We've already got one player out for the whole time. So if we're going to sell Gomez in January, then you need to bring in 2 centre-backs. But we'll speak about that slightly later. But for me, in the next 22 games, if there are 7 games in the next 22 games, 7 games in the next 22 days, and you have no available right-backs, if I'm not mistaken, Frimpong will be back soon, right? I think Frimpong's going to be back in the next couple of weeks, next maybe week or so. If Frimpong's going to be back in the next week, from now until Frimpong's back, Gomez and Ramsey can alternate between right back. I genuinely don't want to see Szoboszlai there, but do you know what? I feel we're going to see him there. I do feel we're going to see him there. Now, let me just double check. Frimpong got injured in the Eintracht Frankfurt game, right? So, and it was said that he'll be out for about 6 weeks. So that game was, if I can get the date for that game, Frankfurt game was the 22nd of October. So it's already been, how many weeks is that? So 22nd of October, you're 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. In theory, he should be back within the next 2 weeks. So within the next 14 days, he should be back. In the next 14 days, he should be back. Hold on. Slot said Frimpong's not going to be back before. Oh, so he's okay. He's put the fries in the bag. Forget what I just said. Football Talk podcast says Slot confirmed his press conference that Frimpong is out for 2 or 3 weeks. So they're both out for the same amount of time. So yeah, put the fries in the bag. Forget what I just said about Frimpong. You're gonna have to rotate between Gomez and Gomez and Calvin Ramsey. But it is what it is, man. I do not want to see Szoboszlai right back. I really don't. but I know we're going to. Hell, I'd put good money on it that Szoboszlai starts at right back tomorrow. I genuinely think he'll start Szoboszlai at right back tomorrow, which is, for me, going to be detrimental to our midfield. Football Talk podcast, could Jones be an option at right back? Not for me, nah. Because if Szoboszlai's going to be playing right back, then we definitely need Jones in the midfield. For me, if Szoboszlai's not starting in the midfield, then Jones has to start in the midfield. Has to start in the midfield. Oh, when it rains, it pours, guys. When it rains, it pours. So, given what he said about Gomez, do you guys genuinely believe Gomez is going to be sold in the summer? Sorry, in January. Big up yourself, Mark. Oh, that makes sense. Okay, we'll speak, bro. We'll speak. Big up yourself, Mark. We will speak, brother. Yeah, do you think he'll be sold in January? And if so, where do you think he goes? And do you think that means we get one or two centre backs? Because there's no world I'm living in where we sell Joe Gomez and don't bring in a centre back. That would be beyond insane. Like, that'd be beyond insane. So while we speak about that, hopefully you don't get copyrighted. If we do, I know Matt and Drift are going to kill me, so I know you guys are going to snitch on me as well. But Arne Slot had this to say about whether we'd buy a centre-back or not in the January window. So this is what he had to say. Let me know if you guys can hear this.
How likely are you to bring in a centre-half, whether it's Mark Gay or anyone else?
This was one of the questions I didn't expect. Talking about signings in the winter break, I think there are so many games to be played before that. And in the position we are in, it's the last thing that's on my mind. Maybe not on Richard's, but it's the last thing on my mind. So it's not a topic at all for me at the moment. We have, at this moment of time, 3 centre backs where with Joe Gomez included, of course, and maybe Ryan and Wata who can play in that position. So maybe you are not aware of it yet, but we have other positions at the moment where which is a bit more of an issue.
Now, I don't know what to make of that. So he did say Richard is probably thinking about that, that's Richard's job. He also spoke about Gravenberch and Endo playing at centre back, which I don't want to see Gravenberch at centre back. I really don't. And then he also says, I don't know if you know, but there's other positions that are more of a priority. I'm struggling to think of a position that's more of a priority than centre back. Like, surely not. Like, goalkeepers were good. I know they're both injured, but right back we've got players there. Left back we've got 2 left backs. Centre back we literally only have 3 available centre backs. You could maybe say the wide areas, but we have Chiesa there and he's not using him. We have Rio and he's not using him. And then we have midfielders. Unless we're now saying that the left wing / right wing is more important than centre back, then I don't know. I don't know. Shout out to Honesty. Don't we need a DM? You've been saying that for we definitely do, but I don't think DM is more important than centre back right now. Feel free to Let me know if you disagree, guys. This is a conversation after all. I know I'm the only one on camera here, but we can have a conversation about this. Surely there's not a position more important than centre back for Liverpool right now. Like, again, I'm not going to sit here and deny that we need a DM and we need a winger. Big up yourself, Jerry James. Hope you and the family are well, brother. We definitely need those two positions to be sorted out. I don't think they're more important than centre back, though. It can't be. It can't be. Unless I'm going crazy, guys. Unless everything is sorted with Mark Gahey, then I must be missing something. I must be, because we have going into this. We wanted to sign Gahey. There's no secret of that. Now there's conflicting reports whether Gomez would have gone or not if Gahey came in or not. Those are the conflicting reports. I think we need 5 centre backs, and one of them could be a utility. For example, Arsenal have Hincapié, Gabriel, Saliba, Mosquera, and they also have Ben White and Timber who can play centre back. But Timber's more of a right back. Ben White is someone who can play both of the positions. Calafiori can also play left back and centre back as well. So Arsenal covered. Man United play 3 at the back, so naturally they're going to have more centre backs. That's fine. Chelsea have 5 centre backs. Man City have 5 centre backs, if I'm not mistaken. So me personally, I don't understand this notion why we don't need 5 centre backs. We absolutely do. And I'm not even saying one of the centre backs can't be someone who can play at fullback. In the night, that is the ideal situation. The ideal situation is you have, well, ideally, it would be Gomez, who's your 5th choice centre back, who can cover left back and right back as well. It would be Mark Gahey, Virgil van Dijk, Leone, Konate. So that would be Gomez, Leone, Van Dijk, Gahey, Konate. That would be your 5 in an ideal world. And then if Gomez were to go, then you bring in someone else, like a Schlotterbeck who can play centre back and left back. But also you can move Virgil right, you can move Konate, you could play 3 at the back. But we absolutely need 5. We need 5. But we cannot be bringing in Gahey in January and losing Gomez in January, because that just puts us in the same situation we're in now in terms of personnel. Is Gahey an upgrade on Gomez? Yes. Yeah, he is. But in terms of numbers, it puts us in a very, very sticky situation still. So I don't know. 6 times 77 is saying right back would be my first choice. Look, I hear it. I just don't see us buying a right back. And again, I'm not even going to do the whole Frimpong's injury prone. He's just been very unlucky since he's been at Liverpool, because if I'm not mistaken, at Leverkusen, his injury record is pretty good. Pretty good, in my opinion, from what I remember. I can't remember him having any bad injuries at Leverkusen or any long-term injuries. So I don't know. Shout out to Revenite. Yeah, he hasn't. Promo says we should have been all over the Hincapié deal. Yeah, the reason why I wasn't madly upset about the Hincapié deal is because I didn't think we'd play Kirk as how we're playing him. Like, that's why I wasn't mad at it, because I was like, okay, cool. We've got 2 left backs and we're going to get Gahey. So I look, as much as I rate him, I was like, okay, fair enough. Like, we don't need Hincapié because we're not looking to play our left back as inverts. But that's not the case. If we just sign Semenyo in January, guys, that would be very similar to when we only signed Gakpo in January. And we also at that time needed I think it was a centre midfielder we needed desperately at that time. So that would be very eerily similar to what we did then. And we all know how that season panned out, ended up finishing outside the Champions League spots. So for me, we can't make that mistake again. Now, in terms of the squad, we can obviously analyze the squad in January and then the summer again. But as of right now, we definitely need a centre back. Like, for me, that should be the first caliber, like first profile of player that walks in the door. then either defensive midfield or left wing, depending on how you guys feel. I'm easy with the other two, but centre back has to be centre back. Absolutely has to be. I'll be extremely shocked if we don't. In terms of the other injury, that is Florian Wirtz. Now, I did expect Florian to start this game. Now, obviously, he's going to be unavailable. Slot didn't say how long he'd be out, but he did say he wouldn't be out as long as Conor Bradley, which is positive. But then it throws in the question, who comes into the midfield for him? Because it's either going to be one of two players. In fact, no. He's one of three players. In fact, it could be a madness now. I'm just thinking, because of Szoboszlai's situation with the whole right-back thing, it could be a bit of a madness now. Now, for me personally, I'd keep Sobo in midfield alongside Gravenberch, but then I'd add Curtis Jones. But I feel as though it would be McAllister who starts. There's an argument to say Endo should get some minutes now. If we're going to try and protect the back four a little bit more, maybe Endo could come in. Stefan Bajcetic, in my opinion, should now be training, so he should be on the bench and start to get minutes to close out games just to get his fitness going. So I think we have enough in midfield. Do we have the profile of defensive midfield / destroyer? No. But we have enough. Shout out to Promo. Trainioni's there as well. We have enough midfielders. Shout out to Andrew. Florian Wirtz is a muscle issue, but shouldn't be out as long as Conor Bradley, who's going to be out for 3 weeks roughly. We can survive without. I mean, we should be able to survive without Wirtz because he hasn't contributed many goals or assists. That's not me even taking a dig at him. That's just the facts. So we should be fine to play without Wirtz. It's just I look at this team right now and it's a bit crazy. It's a little bit crazy, but hey, we'll see. We'll see. Regarding January. Reports are coming out that FSG are going to spend big again. Now, I can see Semenyo happening because of all the rumors and the reports that keep on coming out. It looks as though that seems to be progressing very well, and talks are going well from what we've been told via reports, etc. The Mark Gahey one is one that sort of boils underneath. I still don't expect Mark Gahey to move in January. Call me crazy, but I know Palace will want to recoup some sort of money. I just think the player and Palace might look at it and go, maybe not. And the reason I say that is because Mark Gahey might want to stay at Palace because he knows if he waits until the end of the season, he can get a better salary. And then also for Crystal Palace, they could look at it and go, well, if Mark Gahey stays in this team, we could win the Conference League, or we have a better chance of winning the Conference League, which will be our first European trophy in our history, and that would be amazing for us. So again, I'm not sitting there saying it can't happen in January. I just don't expect it to happen in January. But if that's the case, we still need to get another centre-back. Now, I know I'm a massive fan of Schlotterbeck. If you can't get Schlotterbeck, you've got other profiles of centre-backs out there. It doesn't just have to be Schlotterbeck. Schlotterbeck would be my dream signing. Bastoni would be my dream signing, but that's not obviously going to happen in January. If Schlotterbeck can't happen in January, we still need to get someone else because we still don't even know what's going on with Konate either. And we need to make sure we cover ourselves and we're not just in a bad situation. Now, in terms of Semenyo, shout out to Enns, shout out to Jamie Phillips on the Vibes with Kopish show last night on Jamie's Big Up channel, which you guys should be tuning into every Thursday at 10:30 p.m. And we went through some compilations about Semenyo. Now, Enns and Jamie are massive fans of Semenyo. I myself am a big fan of Semenyo. I've just said I don't know how we utilize him and if we get the best out of him. Now, I thought, let me just do a little bit of comparison because you can always do the eye test, and Semenyo passes the eye test for me. I don't think he's got the close control dribbling, but he's definitely got very good dribbling and pace, strength, power. But one thing that for me really sets him apart from a lot of wingers at the moment is his work rate in terms of defending. He's very good at pressing, very good at tackling, very good at disrupting defenders. So I thought, let me compare him to a couple of wingers, and feel free to add some names in here, guys. So I'm going to share my screen again. There we go. So comparing him to Gakpo this season and Anthony Gordon. So do let me know if there's anyone else you want me to compare him to from the Premier League, guys. That's the Premier League. Shout out to Ryan in the chat. Big up yourself, bro. I hope you and the family are well. All right, so let's get into this now. Oh, what's going on here? All right, there we go. All right, so you should all be able to see this. So Gakpo so far this season has 74.1 progressive carries, which is better than Semenyo's, but less than Anthony Gordon. His dribbles completed is 92.2 as opposed to Semenyo, which is 72.7, and Gordon, which is 88.3, which surprises me a little bit. If I'm going to be honest, that surprises me quite a lot because I wouldn't have expected that. MPG, it goes in the favor of Semenyo. Non-penalty goals, expected goals and assists is Gakpo's leading there. Assists is Gakpo again, but similar to Semenyo. Key passes is Gakpo. Crosses completed, which is Gakpo's game, is Gakpo. But Gordon leads there. And then minutes played is Semenyo. Now, in terms of the eye test, guys, this is where again stats, because we all watch Gakpo play, and when he dribbles, a dribble is counted as kind of not losing the ball while you're running with it effectively. We kind of know Cody doesn't take his man on. He cuts inside and then goes for a shot or a cross usually, or he'll go down the wing and try and cross on his left foot. He doesn't really try and attack his fullback and take them out of the game with his dribbling. That being said, are we looking at this and thinking Semenyo is that guy who's going to take us to the next level? Because again, I do think he could. A couple of you saying add Minter. The reason I wasn't going to add Minter is only because he plays on the other side. But look, I'd do it because it'd be interesting to compare his stats. Progressive carries, Minter wins. Dribbles completed, still below Gakpo and Gordon. Non-penalty expected goals and assists, he would rank second there. Assists, he's way above. Same with key passes, crosses completed as well. Look, Minter's a quality player. I've said this, if Kevin Shard, shout out to Russell, that's a shout. Kevin Shard is a shout. I'm going to remove Minter. I'm going to add Kevin Shard in. Because this is another player I think is going under the radar. But again, on just looking at his stats, they're not as, I mean, his non-penalty expected goals and assists is pretty high. So is his non-penalty goals as well, to be fair. Dribbles complete is quite low. Assists, pretty high. Key passes, pretty high as well. Crosses complete. Again, the whole crosses completed. Anthony Gordon's game and Gakpo's game does rely a lot on crossing. So that doesn't surprise me. My whole thing with Semenyo is if Semenyo is going to work in a front three with, let's say he's playing on the right and Gakpo's playing on the left, or he's playing on the left and Salah's playing on the right. I think Ekitike might be the better option to use in the middle, because Semenyo for me is more of a goal-scoring winger as opposed to a creative winger. And I think if a front three is going to thrive, at least one of those players has to be a creative player. I think the reason why Mane, Firmino, and Salah work so well is because Salah and Mane were predominantly goal scorers. Even though Salah did create a lot, they were predominantly goal scorers, but Firmino was the creative hub in there and the facilitator. Isak is not a creative hub, nor is he a facilitator. Isak is a complete number 9, but his main attribute is getting on the end of passes and scoring goals or creating something from nothing. Ekitike is more, in my opinion, akin to what a facilitator would be. So if we're doing that, that would make more sense. Now, I'm not sitting there saying it can't work with Semenyo and Isak. I just think it might work better with Ekitike and Semenyo. There has to be a mix in that front three. You can't just have 3 goal scorers, because ultimately they're all going to want to score goals. So look, I'm not going to sit here and lie to you guys. Rodrigo would be my first choice for left wing, but I'd be over the moon if we signed Semenyo. I genuinely would be over the moon, especially if we can find a point where it's going to be sort of Wirtz in the 10, Semenyo on the left, Salah on the right, or then if Salah goes in the summer, which is being rumoured, then Alisson on the right, and then Isak through the middle if we get Alisson, for example. Like, I think that would be brilliant. Like, I genuinely we just need more now. We need more. We need the manager to get it right. We really do. But I know I'm here as well. I'm still worried Arsenal could come in at the last minute. I am as well. And I know everyone keeps saying, oh, well, Arsenal will need to make space in the squad. They will do that. They will definitely do that. If they know they can get Semenyo, they will get rid of one of their players. And it doesn't necessarily have to be someone in the front line. They could just get rid of one of their players. They could get rid of anyone. But time will tell. Time will tell. Let me help these super chats. Shout out to Mark. Hey, yep, I'll give you a shout, bro. Shout out to Mark for the super sticker as well. Brad LFC says, winger, one of the main reasons our defensive issues is pressing from the front. We need Semenyo. So I agree, pressing from the front's not great. But again, I think that comes down to tactics as well, because if you haven't got players who are great at pressing at the front, then what you should really be doing is setting up a shape whereby you just tell them to get back in shape and cut off passing angles. I don't think it's that difficult. Like, there's other teams in the league who've got wingers who aren't great at pressing, but don't get ripped through like we do. You just work on your defensive structure and your shape. After all, we did have Gakpo play left wing last season, and granted we had Jota, Nunes, and Diaz who are playing as the number 9s, and all three of those are very good pressing players. But we still had Gakpo and Salah playing like on the wings last season, and we weren't getting played through like we are at the moment. So I fully agree that Semenyo would take our pressing up to another level from an attacking standpoint, but I don't think that his just physical abilities are going to change that. We still have to sort out the tactics there. So we will see. Look, people, as I said, busy day ahead. Make sure you tune in here again at 1 p.m. for the show with Hassam and Tom Little. Also, I'm going to be going live on my channel in around 10 minutes for the first episode of Ask Me Anything. So you guys, if you haven't got anything you are doing this morning, I'm going to be live over there for about half an hour where you guys can just ask me anything about life, sports, or anything. Obviously, nothing too personal, because then I just won't answer the question. But I think we could have a nice little chat over there away from Liverpool and football, just about anything. You guys could just ask me questions. It's literally in the title. Quiz Cal, ask me anything. So you'll be redirected over there. I'll be live in around 10 minutes. Liao, I am. So the reason I'm not on Big Up is, so I just answer. I put this out there. In terms of Big Up's mainly a platform for watch-alongs. Now, outside of Kopish, I don't cover football on my other channel, so I'd be kind of wasted. Plus, just in terms of timing with just life and stuff, I can't commit to doing any more watch-alongs. I don't want to start something up and then be a bit half-hearted with it. So anyone who doesn't know, my other channel focuses on MMA and boxing and combat sports and stuff. So I prefer to keep the two separate, to be honest, and I don't really think there's a space on Big Up for combat stuff at the moment. So if that changes, then maybe, but as of right now, I'm not going to cover any more football on Big Up. Plus Matt and Drift do that as well, so I want to step on their toes with that stuff as well. So yeah, that's just the reason. But yeah, again, we're on Big Up for the watch along, so we'll be there tomorrow, so make sure you tune into that, people. So indeed, smash the like button, subscribe, make sure you check out okjersey.com. Till I see you again, stay safe, stay blessed. Make sure you head over to Sanderson Show, ask me anything. Till we see you again, take it easy, people. Enough love.